Assalamu alaikum. In today's video, I'm making some shrimp. I have some shrimp washing this shrimp in this water here. It's got some lime juice, a tablespoon of white vinegar. So I'm just washing this thoroughly. I'm gonna drain it and wash it again. And I'm gonna add a lot of stuff to the shrimp. I'm gonna be adding 2 green chilies that I'm not gonna cut up, just put it in whole. I'm gonna be adding the zest of a lemon and lime as well as the juice. I'm gonna be adding 2 onions, red onions, half a chicken stock. It's a bit salty, so I'm not gonna add any salt. Yes, I'm gonna add in 1 green pepper, large green pepper, 1 tablespoon of ginger, fresh ginger paste. I'm gonna be adding half a can of Coke. I prefer Coca-Cola, but I only have this Pepsi. I'm gonna probably add half a can of that. I'm gonna be adding a tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of red paprika, a tablespoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of fresh Italian herbs. Dried Italian herbs. I'm gonna add in a teaspoon of coriander powder, 1/4 teaspoon of this black lemon powder, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. I have this mixed curry powder here. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of that, a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of these mixed spices I have in here. It's a bit like garam masala and curry powder mixed together. Okay, with the onions, I just cut them in half and then I slice them like this. Slice. Okay, I've got my frying pan going. I've put the onions in with the 2 green chilies. I didn't cut the chilies up because I don't want it too hot. If you want it hot, cut up the chilies. I just want it for a bit of flavor. Next, I'm going to be adding some butter. Okay, so I've just added about 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter. Shrimp needs a fair amount of butter. That's how I've always seen it. People make it. So you can reduce the amount of butter, but this is how I make it, and I've seen many people make it this way. So I'm just gonna let the onion soften for a bit in the butter. It's on medium heat, and I'm gonna cut up the green peppers next, because they'll be going in next, and the garlic. Okay, I've roughly cut up the green peppers. And next to go in will be the garlic. I'm gonna add about 8 to 9 cloves of garlic. Okay, so I've added in all the garlic. It's about 8 cloves of garlic. And this is 1 chicken stock. My chicken stock is salty. I'm gonna make sure it's dissolved in the butter. So I'm not adding any salt to this. That's the only salt that's gonna go in. Okay, I said I was gonna add in 1 tablespoon of ginger. But I've added about 2.5 tablespoons of ginger. The more ginger you add to this, the better, I think. But 1 is enough. It's ginger paste, fresh ginger paste. Okay, next I'm going to be adding half a teaspoon of cumin powder. I've turned the heat down to low because I feel like the butter is getting a bit too hot. I'm going to add half a teaspoon of cumin powder. Next to go in is the Bahrain curry powder. It's very similar to Somali hawaji or garam masala. I'm only going to add a teaspoon of that. Is this hot curry powder. I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of that. Next to go in is about a teaspoon of coriander powder. Just going to mix in the spices and fry them for 2 minutes before adding in the Coca-Cola. And I've turned the heat up to medium again to get it ready for the Coca-Cola I'm going to add now. I have Pepsi, but I think the Coca-Cola is better for flavor. So I'm going to add about half a can. That's like 160 milliliters. I might add more if the sauce gets too thick. I'm just going to check out the consistency now. And I'm going to turn the heat up a bit more. Turn the heat up to high. This is about half the can, about 160 milliliters. Next to go in for me is about a tablespoon of paprika. Tablespoon of paprika, just to give it that nice red color. It adds a nice color to the food, and I also like the taste anyway. So, tablespoon of paprika. Okay, we're gonna let this bubble up for a while. I'm gonna add in about a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. Quarter teaspoon of black pepper. Next to go in is literally a tiny pinch, about a quarter teaspoon of turmeric powder. I'm only adding it for the color. Don't add too much turmeric powder, it will ruin everything, it will overpower everything. Only a quarter teaspoon is more than enough. Okay, my sauce is getting too thick already, so I'm going to add a bit more Coca-Cola. I've decided just to add the whole can. That's 330 milliliters, because it was getting thick already and I hadn't finished cooking. So I just added the whole can, 330 milliliters. Next to go in is a quarter teaspoon to half a teaspoon of mixed Italian herbs. You don't want too much of that either, it will overpower everything else. Next to go in is a quarter teaspoon of black lemon powder. Black lemon powder. This is optional, I know it's difficult to find in some places. In many places it's difficult to find. If I had Old Bay seasoning, I would definitely have added it, but I don't have it. That's why I added all these different spices in its place. So Old Bay seasoning, you could add that definitely. I would add about a tablespoon of that. Next to go in is a teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm not adding too much of this because I already added a lot of fresh garlic. Next to go in is a tablespoon of onion powder. I think this adds a nice flavor to food. Once it starts bubbling like this, you turn the heat down to low because you want it just everything to mix together for a few minutes. Now I'm not going to be using all this sauce. I'm going to put half of it in the fridge and use it for some chicken some other day. I'm only going to use half the sauce for the shrimp today because I'm only cooking 400 grams of shrimp. And this is way too much sauce for the shrimp. Okay, next I'm going to be getting the zest from the lemon and the lime. Not the whole lemon or the whole lime, just a bit of it. About a teaspoon of each. Using the small side of the grater. I have added in the lemon zest and the lime zest. And now I'm going to put half the sauce. I'm going to take half the sauce out because it's too much sauce. Okay, I've removed half the sauce and I've returned the sauce back on the heat on high. And now I'm just going to be adding in the shrimp that I've washed and drained in the colander. Okay, now I'm only going to cook the shrimps. They don't take long to cook at all. I'm literally going to cook it for 3 minutes and then it'll be ready. I'm just going to move it around the pan for 3 minutes and it'll be done. I'm going to wrap my prawns in this tortilla wrap. Tortilla wholemeal bread. And it's 3 minutes and the shrimps are ready. Okay, so there you have it, the shrimps, spicy shrimps. I'm gonna wrap it up in this wholemeal tortilla bread, fresh wholemeal tortilla bread. The last thing I'm gonna do is just sprinkle on as much lemon juice as you like or lime juice. And then I'm just gonna wrap it up. Yes, thank you for watching. Please like my videos and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum.